Happiness is the simplest thing in the world, yet somehow we've turned it into the most complicated pursuit imaginable. We chase degrees, promotions, relationships, possessions, experiences, validation, thinking that once we achieve enough, we'll finally feel satisfied. Then we get everything we wanted and realize we still feel empty. And in this video, I'll explain why we overcomplicate happiness, what actually creates lasting contentment, and why the answer has always been simpler than anyone wants to admit. Let's start with the truth that frees you from endless chasing. Here's the thing. Happiness isn't something you achieve. It's something you stop preventing. Think about children. A 5-year-old can be completely happy playing with a cardboard box. They don't need achievements, status, or external validation. They're happy by default until someone teaches them they shouldn't be. Then we grow up and forget how to access that default state. We start believing happiness requires specific conditions. A certain income level, a particular relationship status, a body that looks a specific way, recognition from others. And we spend our entire lives chasing those conditions, convinced that once we reach them, we'll finally be happy. But here's what actually happens. You hit the goal, feel a brief surge of satisfaction, then immediately start worrying about losing it or setting a new goal. The happiness you thought would come from achievement never actually arrives because you're still the same person with the same patterns of thinking. That's what I mean when I say happiness isn't something you achieve. It's something you uncover by removing the layers of complication we've added. I like to call this the subtraction principle. Most people approach happiness through addition. Add more success, add more possessions, add more experiences, add more validation. But happiness actually comes through subtraction. Subtract unnecessary desires, subtract comparison, subtract the need for external approval. Subtract the belief that you need to be different than you are. When you subtract the complications, what's left is a natural state of contentment that was always there underneath. Let me tell you a story. About 5 years ago, I was in what most people would call a successful phase of life. Good income, impressive job title, nice apartment, active social life. On paper, I had everything that should make someone happy, but I was miserable. Constantly stressed, always chasing the next achievement, never feeling like I had enough or was enough. One weekend, I went camping alone. No phone service, no agenda. Just me and nature for 3 days. And something interesting happened. By the second day, after all the mental noise settled, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. A simple, quiet contentment. I wasn't achieving anything. I wasn't being productive. I wasn't getting validation. I was just existing. And for the first time in years, that felt like enough. That's when I realized I'd been overcomplicating everything. The happiness I was looking for wasn't hiding at the end of some achievement ladder. It was right there, available all along, buried under layers of striving and comparison and needing things to be different than they were. That weekend taught me something crucial. Happiness doesn't require anything external. It just requires stopping the internal war against reality. Now, most people hear that and think I'm suggesting you give up ambition or stop pursuing goals. That's not what I'm saying. Goals are fine. Achievement is fine. The problem isn't wanting things. The problem is believing you need them to be happy. There's a huge difference between I want this and I need this to be okay. The first is preference. The second is suffering. When you need external conditions to be a certain way before you can be happy, you've given your piece to things outside your control. And that's why most people are unhappy most of the time. Because external conditions are never perfect for long. So why do we overcomplicate happiness? I'll give you 3 reasons that explain most of it. 1. We're biologically wired to never be satisfied. From an evolutionary perspective, contentment was dangerous. Our ancestors who were satisfied didn't push for better shelter, more food, safer conditions. They died. The anxious, never satisfied ones survived and passed on their genes. So we inherited brains that are constantly scanning for problems, threats, and ways to improve. That's useful for survival, but terrible for happiness. Your brain is literally designed to find what's wrong and fixate on it. That's not a bug. That's a feature. But it means happiness requires consciously overriding your brain's default programming. 2. Modern culture profits from your dissatisfaction. Think about it. Every advertisement, every social media post, every marketing message is designed to make you feel inadequate so you'll buy the solution. You're not thin enough. Buy this program. You're not successful enough. Buy this course. You're not attractive enough. Buy this product. You're not living the right lifestyle. Buy this experience. We're swimming in messages that say who you are right now isn't enough, and here's what you need to buy to fix it. And after years of exposure, we internalize that message. We start believing happiness is always one purchase, one achievement, one change away. 3. We confuse happiness with excitement. We live in a culture addicted to stimulation, constant entertainment, instant gratification, new experiences, dopamine hits from social media, shopping, eating, whatever. We've trained our brains to equate feeling good with being stimulated, but excitement and happiness are completely different things. Excitement is a peak state that can't be sustained. It requires novelty and intensity. Happiness is a baseline state of contentment that can be sustained indefinitely. It doesn't require anything intense. It's just peace with what is. Most people chase excitement thinking it's happiness. Then they wonder why they feel empty between peaks. They're looking for happiness in temporary highs instead of sustainable contentment. Brother, here's what I need you to understand. True happiness isn't the presence of positive feelings. It's the absence of internal resistance. Let me explain what I mean. Most unhappiness comes from arguing with reality. It shouldn't be this way. They shouldn't have done that. I should be further along. Life should be easier. This shouldn't be happening. Every time you tell yourself something should be different than it is, you create suffering. Not because reality is wrong, but because you're fighting reality. And fighting reality is a war you can never win. Here's the framework I use now. I call it the acceptance and action model. It has 2 parts. First, accept reality exactly as it is right now. Not liking it, not endorsing it, just accepting that this is what's actually true in this moment. Your job situation is what it is. Your relationship status is what it is. Your body is what it is. Your past is what it is. Fighting these facts doesn't change them. It just makes you suffer while they remain unchanged. Second, take whatever action is appropriate from that place of acceptance. If your job situation isn't working, accept that it's not working right now, then take steps to change it. If a relationship isn't healthy, accept that it's not healthy, then decide what to do about it. If your fitness isn't where you want it, accept where you are, then start training. The key difference is you're acting from acceptance, not from resistance. You're not trying to escape an unacceptable reality. You're improving from a place of recognizing what's true. That shift changes everything. Action from resistance is desperate and exhausting. Action from acceptance is calm and sustainable. Let me give you 5 practices that simplify happiness instead of complicating it. 1. Gratitude for what's already here. Most people postpone gratitude until they achieve something worth being grateful for. That's backwards. Gratitude isn't a response to getting what you want. It's a practice of recognizing what you already have. Every morning I spend 2 minutes listing 3 things I'm genuinely grateful for. Not fake toxic positivity, real appreciation for real things. My health, clean water, a place to sleep, friends who care, the ability to learn, This practice doesn't ignore problems. It just prevents you from overlooking what's already good while chasing what's missing. 2. Presence over productivity. We're obsessed with optimizing every moment. Every activity needs to be productive, educational, or moving us toward some goal. That mindset turns life into an endless project where you can never just be. Practice doing things just to do them. Walk without listening to a podcast. Eat without scrolling. Sit without needing to accomplish anything. This isn't wasting time. It's remembering that being alive is inherently valuable, not just what you produce. 3. Reduce decision fatigue. We make thousands of micro decisions daily. What to wear, what to eat, what to watch, what to buy. Each decision drains mental energy and creates opportunities for regret. Simplify your life. Reduce options. Create routines that eliminate unnecessary decisions. I wear basically the same outfit daily. I eat similar meals. I have set times for work, exercise, rest. This isn't boring. It's freeing. It removes friction and creates space for what matters. 4. Protect your attention. Your attention is your life. Where your attention goes, your life goes. If your attention is constantly being pulled to social media, news, drama, other people's lives, your life becomes fragmented and exhausting. Curate your inputs ruthlessly. Unfollow accounts that make you feel worse. Delete apps that steal your attention. Create environments that support focus. Your attention is the most valuable thing you have. Treat it accordingly. 5. Let go of outcomes. You can control your actions. You can't control results. Tying your happiness to outcomes means giving your peace to things outside your control. I work hard. I take action. I do my best. But I don't attach my emotional state to whether things work out exactly as planned. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. Either way, I'm okay. This isn't apathy. It's detachment from needing reality to match your preferences perfectly. Now let's talk about what happiness actually is, because most people have never stopped to define it clearly. They just know they want it. Happiness isn't excitement. That's stimulation. Happiness isn't pleasure. That's sensation. Happiness isn't achievement. That's accomplishment. Happiness is a state of inner peace where you're fundamentally okay with yourself, your life, and reality as it is, while still working to improve what's improvable. It's contentment without complacency. It's acceptance without resignation. It's peace without passivity. And here's the beautiful part. Once you understand that, happiness becomes available right now. Not after you achieve something. Not after conditions change. Right now, because happiness isn't a destination you reach. It's a way of traveling. It's how you relate to this moment. And you can change how you relate to this moment immediately. Most people spend their entire lives waiting to be happy. Waiting until they have the relationship. Waiting until they reach the income level. Waiting until they lose the weight. Waiting until other people approve. And they never realize that waiting is the problem. Happiness isn't found by changing conditions. It's found by changing how you engage with conditions. Brother, I want you to try something. For the next 7 days, practice the subtraction principle. Don't try to add anything to make yourself happier. Instead, subtract the complications. Subtract comparison by staying off social media. Subtract the need for external validation by doing things because you want to, not for approval. Subtract resistance by accepting one thing you've been fighting against. Subtract unnecessary desires by distinguishing between wants and needs. Subtract rushing by doing one thing slowly and deliberately each day. And watch what happens. Watch how much of your unhappiness was self-created through complication. Watch how much peace was already there underneath the noise. Because in the end, happiness isn't complicated. We just make it complicated by believing we need to be somewhere other than where we are, someone other than who we are, with something other than what we have. The moment you stop fighting reality and start working with it, everything changes. Not because reality changed, because you stopped arguing with it. And that's the simple truth about happiness that most people spend decades refusing to accept. This was the dark needle. Stay sharp.